In this lesson, we will delve into the complex and multifaceted conflict between Iran, Israel, and the United States, focusing on its historical roots, key milestones, and the strategic importance of the Strait of Hormuz. This conflict has shaped global politics and economics, particularly in the context of energy security and global trade. The modern geopolitical tensions surrounding Iran partly trace back to 1953, when the United States and the United Kingdom supported a coup that removed Iranian Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh. Mossadegh had nationalized Iran's oil industry, which threatened Western oil interests. The coup restored Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi to power, making Iran a close ally of the United States. However, many Iranians developed resentment toward Western intervention, setting the stage for future conflicts. During the 1960s and 1970s, Iran was a key U.S. strategic partner in the Middle East. Israel and Iran had covert diplomatic and intelligence cooperation, and Iran purchased large amounts of American weapons. The 1979 Iranian Revolution fundamentally reshaped Iran's identity, replacing a pro-Western monarchy with a strongly anti-Western and anti-Israel ideology. U.S. influence in Iran abruptly ended. In November 1979, Iranian revolutionary students seized the U.S. embassy in Tehran, holding 52 American diplomats hostage for 444 days. This crisis cemented the adversarial relationship between the U.S. and Iran. The Iran-Iraq War 1980–1988 deepened Iranian mistrust of the West. During the war, both sides attacked oil tankers in the Persian Gulf, leading to the Carrying Tanker War. The U.S. deployed naval forces to protect shipping. In 1988, the U.S. Navy clashed with Iranian naval vessels in the Persian Gulf. The incident, known as Operation Praying Mantis, further deepened Iranian hostility toward the United States. After the Cold War, tensions between Iran and Israel intensified. Israel viewed Iran as a major threat due to its support for militant groups, ballistic missile program, and nuclear ambitions. Iran developed influence across the Middle East through allied groups such as Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, and Shia militias in Iraq. Israel viewed this as an effort to encircle it strategically. In 2002, previously secret Iranian nuclear facilities at Natanz and Iraq were exposed, triggering international concern that Iran might develop nuclear weapons. This led to international sanctions targeting Iranian banks, oil exports, and nuclear technology. In July 2015, Iran and major world powers signed the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action (JCPOA), requiring Iran to limit its nuclear program in exchange for sanction relief. However, the deal remained controversial. In May 2018, the United States withdrew from the JCPOA and reinstated sanctions. Iran gradually reduced compliance with the deal, leading to increased tensions in the Persian Gulf. In 2019, multiple oil tankers were attacked near the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. blamed Iran, which denied responsibility. This incident increased the risk of conflict in the region. In January 2020, the United States assassinated General Qasem Soleimani, a top Iranian military commander, in Baghdad. Iran retaliated with missile strikes on U.S. bases in Iraq, raising fears of a broader war. The Strait of Hormuz connects the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. Countries bordering the Persian Gulf export oil through this route, making it a critical chokepoint for global oil supply. Approximately 20 million barrels of oil per day, about 20% of global oil consumption, pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Major oil exporters relying on the strait include Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and Iran. China is the largest importer of oil from the Persian Gulf. Disruption in the Strait of Hormuz would threaten China's manufacturing, energy supply, and economic growth. Europe imports large amounts of LNG from Qatar. Energy disruptions could increase electricity prices, industrial costs, and inflation in Europe. India and Japan rely heavily on Middle Eastern oil transported through the Strait of Hormuz. Disruptions would have significant economic impacts on these countries. Tensions increased dramatically in the early 2020s, with key factors including regional proxy conflicts, Israel-Iran shadow warfare, and increasing drone and missile capabilities. In February 2026, The U.S. and Israel began a joint military campaign, conducting strikes on Iran, including nuclear fuel cycle sites. Iran retaliated with strikes targeting U.S. and Israeli assets in various Middle Eastern countries. Iran hinted at closing the Strait of Hormuz, leading to significant disruptions. Maritime traffic dropped by 70%, and tanker companies halted bookings, making trade commercially unfeasible. Disruption in the Strait of Hormuz would sharply intensify oil price rallies. Prices could spike violently upwards, potentially reaching $100 per barrel or higher if disruption persists. A sustained rise in oil and gas prices would add significant upward pressure to global inflation, tightening financial conditions, and pushing fragile economies toward recession. Beyond energy, the conflict disrupts global trade. Gulf airspace closures affect aviation corridors between Europe and Asia. The blocking of the strait creates logistical paralysis, affecting the global container fleet. China, Europe, and India, heavily reliant on Persian Gulf energy, would face severe economic strain, including weaker trade balances, currency pressure, and higher utility costs. The Strait of Hormuz is not just an energy chokepoint, it is a critical artery for the global economy. Instability there quickly translates into economic crises worldwide, demonstrating the interconnectedness of geopolitics, energy security, and global economic health. From the covert actions of 1953 to the direct military confrontations of 2026, the Iran-Israel-USA conflict has evolved dramatically. The Strait of Hormuz remains a constant, a narrow passage, with outsized global importance. The current hostilities in March 2026 serve as a stark reminder. Instability in this critical region poses not only a threat to regional peace, but also a profound challenge to global energy security, trade, and economic well-being for nations across the world.